Welcome to The Big Picture. I'm Phil Arno. As the coronavirus panic continues, things change minute by minute. You've no doubt seen and heard in the news a variety of stories about how many people have been infected here in Western New York, in New York State, in the country, in the world. It's like the latest sports scores. I've been saying for a week now that you should be concerned, but not necessarily about your health. You should be concerned if you suspect that the news media or your elected officials or your friends or your neighbors are only talking about half the story. If you're only hearing about the doom and the gloom, the closings and the risks, if you've been bombarded with panic-inducing talk about how this virus is the most feared pandemic to come down the pike, then stop. Take a breath, relax. Realize that there is another side of this story. First, there are over 19 million people in New York State and 330 million people in the United States. The last count that I heard, there were about 44,000 cases of the coronavirus in this country. Now, that's something to be taken seriously, but folks, this season, the CDC is telling us that in this country, between 38 and 54 million people have already been infected with the flu. Not coronavirus, the flu, what goes around every year. And they estimate that there have been between 30 and 60,000 deaths this season so far from that flu. Not the coronavirus, the flu. Has anybody told you to be worried about the flu? Have any businesses closed this year because they feared the flu season? Look, I can talk all day long about logic, but emotion, panic, especially when it's pumped through the fabric of our society by officials and the media, that's a tough thing to fight. But at least have an open mind. Look into all the aspects of the situation. Changing your life, doing things that you're not comfortable with. Just try to figure out what makes sense. Information is your best friend. All information, not just half the story. Now, we do have a show to do, and I would like to get you some of that information myself. So here we go. And with me now is Warren Clark, who is President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau of Upstate New York. And Warren, welcome to the show. We're in the midst of uncharted territory in what we've been going through lately with this coronavirus. And how has the Better Business Bureau been affected? Let's put it that to you to start with, that first question. The Better Business Bureau is like the rest of us. As we were talking before, you're a small business as well. You've got like 40 employees, and you've been affected just the same as everybody else.
Exactly. Thanks for having me, Phil. Yeah, we're in kind of a unique situation, and probably everybody feels the same. We are a business that is not considered essential according to the terms, but we're playing a very important role. A huge part of what we do is pre-purchase, people checking with us before they make purchases, particularly large purchases, such as home remodeling and auto repair and those things. And believe it or not, within hours of the emergency declarations that have taken place, there are scams that go out, and there's price gouging scams and people saying they have medicines. There was something last night that someone said they had a cure, and so the BBB serving upstate New York reaches our constituencies, about 6 million upstate New Yorkers, 48 counties, and in around 140,000 businesses, 750 cities, towns, and villages. And so we have a huge responsibility to try and help businesses, consumers, charities, donors, trying to make sure that people who want to help are helping legitimate businesses and charities that are there, and people are still working. People are looking. They may have a difficulty with technology, and they're looking for somebody. And BBB last year, our BBB alone did about 2.5 million instances of service. So people are checking with us. The number we use is about once every 13 or 14 seconds to see if a company is legitimate or a charity is legitimate, and then load into that the fact that we are a small business, as you said it at the lead-in. So a week ago, now 9 days ago, we were in our offices doing our work, and then suddenly had to come up with a plan. Not everybody had technology appropriate, but in a week, we had everybody working from home. We've actually been communicating with our employees. We have a webinar tomorrow morning for some 200 of our member accredited businesses across upstate. And we have the same issues as other businesses, and some of our people are having a more difficult time emotionally. Nobody knows how long this will last or what the impact is going to be on individuals. Our commitment is going to be to try and do the very best we can for our employees, and then, of course, to continue to help the consuming public and the businesses in upstate New York.
Things are flowing and changing every day. We're hearing new things, right?
Well, and in fact, we used to say, way back a week and a half ago, we used to say it was changing daily. Now we say it's changing hourly. But absolutely, we have, we also are still answering the phones, believe it or not. We have done, I think, an extraordinary job. I have an incredible team of workers and managers, and people that weren't able to take their office phones home because we couldn't get all the accessories we needed. We literally have an app on our cell phone, so that we can call, and people will be able to see that it's us calling, so that it's not a scam, that we're the ones on the phone. So it is. Yes, I mean the situation changes so rapidly, and we're actually working with the International Association of Better Business Bureaus. So we have North American information on bbb.org, which is the North American website, but also there's local alerts and other advice. Our staff have been given reference information. People are calling us wanting to know about unemployment. Well, we don't know about unemployment, but we're not about to tell people, find the information, we can't help you. So we've provided each of our phone answering folks with reference sources. For instance, we have the link to the Department of Labor. Somebody's looking to see what's going on. And what you said very appropriately is it's literally changing every day and every hour. I'm watching news reports when I can, because I think that when Congress comes up with a stimulus bill, which they essentially have to, that will change. It will change small business, and it will change the entire situation in the marketplace here in upstate New York and across North America.
When businesses want to assure their customers that they're not going away, that they're still there to serve them, and the customers are a little bit nervous that they put a down payment on something, or they've been dealing with this business and they're counting on something, is there a way that the businesses can get their message to the Better Business Bureau, and so that if somebody can inquire on a situation that they've got going with a business, the Better Business Bureau might be able to have some information about that? I'm not sure. This is such an unusual situation. I don't know whether you guys can keep up with all that.
What we're trying to do is to get alerts up. What we want for the public to know is that the information we're giving them, and I think that our alert is now on our website, that says the information we have was valid a week ago. So that, if somebody was in the home improvement business a week ago, and you're looking for someone in that industry, we can't tell you unequivocally that they have made it to today, nor that if they get through today that they're going to get through tomorrow. And that's what we're hoping that the clarity will come. I think there's been infinitely more clarity in New York State than there has been on the national level, but it's still the federal response will certainly indicate what's going to happen here. So we need Congress to act and to protect our employees. We're in the same boat. You know, we have a standard that we have to remain a Better Business Bureau is that we have to have 3 months operating revenue in order to remain a Better Business Bureau, and we have that. And last week we had additional people still joining us, and in fact, 1 or 2 joined today across upstate. But we're anticipating, for instance, about a 30% decline in revenue for the year, and that's based on assuming that this gets fixed in the next couple of months. Again, my primary concern right now is our employees, making sure that we can continue to take care of them, and hopefully, if the worst comes in, that we will be able to they will be able to turn to the government for help, which would also help us to go longer. But your question's a really valid one, but we have no way of finding out if someone has been hugely affected by this. And the truth is, it's too soon. I think people have laid people off, but they, those people haven't found other jobs. So, restaurants are probably a great example that if this gets resolved or unemployment becomes a benefit that all of businesses pay into anyway, but if it gets enhanced, that things will recover much more quickly. If the average small contractor probably has 1 to 9 employees, that those folks, assuming that they're able to live through the next couple of months, and we all will, hopefully, that when we get to that point, people will be ready to work and able to work.
Well, okay, as usual, this goes very quickly, and I think as things progress, I think we should have you back on to kind of check as to where things go. And as this recovery starts, and I hope it starts quickly, the economic impact of what has been going on is going to affect businesses and consumers and relationships, and the Better Business Bureau is going to come into play on a lot of that and play a very important role, more so than normal, because there's a lot of chaos going on. And so we're going to have you on again, hopefully in the near future, to kind of have an update on what's going on. I want to thank Warren Clark for being my guest on The Big Picture. Turn to the Better Business Bureau, because there are a lot of scams out there that you need to know about. Check in with them and stay informed. Like we said, information is your best friend in a situation like this. Thanks again, Warren, for being my guest. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back right after this with our next segment. We have a lady we're going to talk to about improving your life right after this.